So for anyone who's sort of new to TeamApp, it's a free platform that clubs and associations use to centralize all their communications and operations all in the one place. Instead of juggling multiple emails, you sort of have your group chats, your Facebook posts, and even paper rosters in some instances. Everything sits inside the one app, and it's very their own and personalized. Things like schedules, events, chats, store, live scores, documents, and many more. So the whole idea is to make life easier for admins and coaches of different clubs, teams, associations, whilst giving members and parents a single hub where they know they'll find the right information. So the goal for today's session is to highlight key features inside TeamApp that you can maximize and also save you time and boost the engagement in the process. So these are tools sort of designed to cut down on admin work, making it easier for your members to sort of stay connected. So now that we've sort of set the scene, let's dive into TeamApp, where I'll demonstrate which features I think can make the biggest difference. For each one, I'll explain what it is, and then we'll go why it matters. And then as you can see in the left here, my screen is shared, so we can show you how it actually works in practice. By the end of today's session, I hope you have some really insightful takeaways that you can apply to your own setup straight away. Yeah, we'll get into the first one. So let's kick things off with fundraising. A fundraiser in TeamApp is a built-in tool that lets clubs raise money by collecting donations directly in the app. Payments are taken securely, so members can support with just a simple tap, and organisers can track funds in real time. So every club needs to raise money at some point, whether it's uniforms, equipment, or in another case, facility upgrade fund. So on the left here, you can see second row, I have my fundraiser. So here's one that I've already created. You have the facility upgrade fund, the ability to donate, the ability to share as well. And when donating, I'd simply just click the blue button. Now for this instance, we'll put $50. You can choose whether you want to leave your name there, or you can also keep it anonymous. You can provide a message as well. And one thing to note, in all online payments, there are processing fees. So for example, if I wanted to provide a donation of $50, you have the accessibility to include the payment processing fee in the donation, or if turned off, the fundraising would receive $50 minus the processing fees. So after you sort of filled in the required, it takes you to a checkout page where you'll be prompted to put in your pay information. And yeah, literally as easy as that. So now let's take it a step further, and I'll show you how you can create your own. So simply in the top right corner, click the plus button. It's got your fundraising title. You can have your target amount. You also have the ability to turn this off, whether you want it anonymous. The beneficiary is who's it going to, and the organizer as well. So this might be your treasurer or someone who's setting it up. You also have the ability to put your contact email address if people have questions, the start and end date. And the most important thing here is the visibility. So right down here, I can choose whether it be a public, my approved members inside my app, or I can choose specific access groups as well. And if I just abide by the TeamApp teller terms, I literally click create, and what would happen it would be my fundraising created. So literally within a few minutes, we've set up a live fundraiser. Members are notified instantly and can contribute on the spot, and admins can track the donations. So your supporters can also see how much has been raised to the cause. So yeah, that's it. A few taps, you've got a digital fundraising campaign that runs itself in the background. So next up is ticketing. Every club runs events, whether it be an awards night, a trivia, or even a holiday camp. The biggest hassle is always collecting the money, keeping track of who's coming, and making sure no one loses their ticket. So with TeamApp, all of that is handled automatically. You can create tickets directly inside your event. Members buy them through the app, and then they get a confirmation email, and their tickets are always stored under the My Tickets section. So no lost tickets, no cash handling, and sort of no more chasing people down. Everything's centralized, automated, and yeah, pretty much just ready to go on the spot. So if we go into our events here, the second row down again in the middle, you can see I already have one created. This is my end of the season party. It's all set up, and I have the ability to purchase tickets. So what we'll do is we'll create our own, go back to the plus up the top. We'll call this Trivia Night. And once again, you have the ability to start and end date, whether this is an all-day thing, it could be a recurring thing as well. You just put the event location, details, come along. And the visibility is one of the most important features again. So you choose who sees this content that you're posting. For this instance, we're just going to give it to the public, choose when the content is released, how it's released, whether a notification or an email, or you can do both, and also a notification reminder. We might want to set it 2 weeks before for the trivia. So here's the next sort of page that comes up. Team app is very personable, so you can choose different sort of settings and features you'd like to turn on specific to your event. But for this instance, we're just going to turn on the ticketing. So after the event has been created, the authorization code will be available for the admin to share, and I'll touch on that a bit later. Now, for the event, for my trivia night, you have the ability to choose a capacity, we'll put a couple hundred, when the ticket sales begin and end, who the ticket inquiries are going to, and also you have the opportunity to display sponsors. Now, when it comes to the ticket types, we might have this ticket name being an adult 18 plus ticket. Now you can choose the price as well. So we'll put $10 and we'll choose the allocation to be 1, so 1 ticket per person. And you can also put a short description of whether it is a free drink or not. It's up to you. So the next sort of instance is we can add a question. These custom questions can have a meal preference, as you see there on the screen. There'll be different options as well. So it very much is up to the user and the admins on how they sort of want to display their tickets. And it'll also be reflected in what the members see. So I've got my 18 plus ticket, but I might also want to add a volunteer ticket. Now this one would be 0 because I'm going in for free. I also have the 1 allocation. So once I sort of hit publish, if I go through the other settings, if I could create events, the event is now live. The same steps happen in my other one. So if I went to the end of season party, I've also filled this one out. So from a member's point of view, they would just open the event and literally click purchase tickets. Now I've done the same one as I just created. For this instance, I am a volunteer. So I go to the checkout page, go straight to the purchase. And you can see I just got a notification of my purchase ticket. I'll be emailed a receipt, and I also get, I can access this via the My Ticket section on Team App. So if I go back, you'll see now next to my name at the top, there's a My Ticket section. If I click on that, end of season party, which I'm looking forward to. And there you go. You've got a barcode, you've got when it is, where it is, and you've got your order number as well. So yeah, when event night comes around, everything is literally one tap away. It's there you go, and this is where the next step comes in. So event night has come around, for instance, and you have all these members that have sort of said they purchased tickets. However, in a case of a public event, this can be hard to track, especially when there's a capacity. So at Team App, we've actually have a section dedicated to the doorman. So if I go back and I go in the settings in the bottom right corner, if I go down to transactions, you can see here that there's a wallet, a scan, a payment history, and the tickets. And you can manage your tickets as a holder or a dormant. So now tickets can be, if I go through here, you can manage your tickets as a dormant. And so here we go. We got the scan tickets bit. Now, tickets can be scanned by full admins of the app once it's created, but a ticket scanning privilege can also be assigned by sharing the authorization code for the ticketed event. So if you have been given the authorization code to scan tickets for an event, you can enter that code in here. It's just a 6-digit number, and that will give you accessibility to be the dormant. So in this case of the event, I already have the code. But if I go back, I go here. If I go to the bottom bit, ticketed events, you can see underneath the end of the season party, there's a 6-digit code. So this is what be the one that I pass on to my dormant. So once that's all good, we can actually start the check-in process. For now, I assume I'm the door person who's already received the code from the admin who created the event. So like you've already touched on before, I can use the TMAP scanner to scan each ticket. I could ask people who have bought one to go show me your ticket. If it's valid, it automatically marks it as used. So I can then say, perfect, mate, you're all good to go, enjoy the event. So in another example, if I'm at the door and I'm ready to welcome guests, but some people might not have bought their tickets online, that's also fine. I can also check them in manually. So I'd ask, can I get your name? And also, would you be able to provide me with the ticket you purchased? For this instance, you click the magnifying glass up the top, and I want to search up the name to see if they actually bought a ticket. If I go to the end of the season party, you can see my tickets in there as well. You can also see all your other members that have bought the tickets. Yeah, so this helps me sort of find their record in the system by looking them up. So we'll go Geordie Smith, for instance. So his ticket hasn't been used. I say, hey, Geordie, you're good to go, mate. And I admit him in. So the system automatically updates, which is one of the perks of using TMAP. It's instant and it happens straight away. Now, if I go back, sometimes a manual sale has been entered in, and this usually comes in the case of when it comes to a cash sale. So here I would go into the manual sale button. I'd click the corresponding event, so it'd be this, and you actually have the ability to scan someone in. So on the spot, I can create a manual sale, go through the steps of whether I've received the payment. So we're adult ticket, we're admit one entry, and you can get their contact details down as well. This way, everything's recorded, and it will create a ticket for that person. So my goal as a sort of dormant is to get the line moving, to stay friendly, to make sure everyone feels welcome. By handling this from my device, I make sure it's fast as well, secure and smooth for everyone. So nothing sort of gets lost, and everything is tracked in real time, as I also said. So if I go back as well to my team, I go onto my event, I click on this. You also have the ability to check your ticket sales. So if I was to go on the tickets right next to attendance down here, view sales, you can see how many tickets have been allocated. And you can see my one I purchased before, just the one ticket for the volunteer, and you have the total sales as well. And here are the members that I purchased at. So overall, ticketing in TMAP lets clubs sort of create, sell, and even manage their event tickets directly in the app. Purchasers get sort of instant confirmation, and their tickets are always stored under the My Tickets, as I've already explained. Cool. So now that we've looked at ticketing, that's all about bringing all the money in for specific events. What about other sort of payments that go along, like the store, the registration, or even fundraising donations? So that's where the payments dashboard comes in. This is like your finance summary inside TeamApp. It gives you sort of clear, real breakdown of everything coming in, whether that's your ticket sales, and as I mentioned, and you can even drill down in to see who's paid for what. So here's the thing though, this one is also very underutilized. A lot of clubs take payments through TeamApp, but don't realize they can actually extract those transactions in one simple dashboard. Instead, they'll sort of export spreadsheets manually, or even go to their bank, which is just very time consuming, and for volunteers and organizers like yourselves, it just isn't the right way to do it. So now this is only viewable from the web-based version of the TeamApp, and it has a real new user interface upgrade we've recently done. So from my screen, what would normally happen was you'd have your sort of mock TeamApp, and you go to this section down here, which is the payments dashboard. So for instance, this is one of mine that I've done. You can see the years gone by of the different sort of payments coming through. You can also filter this data by having it into whatever you want, really, an all-time, up to quarterly, up to yearly as well. Also, you also have the ability to change the sales, whether it is an online where you can do your cash sales. It's up to you how you sort of want to personalize this. So if I go down as well, you can see my store, my registration, fundraising tickets, everything comes through. Now, I also have the ability to assign payments and registrations to members. This would be good if, say, you had a merchandise of a singlet and you say, okay, guys, members that have bought it, but you really want them to see it on the app. So you can assign payments to them and they'll directly receive a notification in this sort of aspect. There's no more sort of digging through bank payments or slips that just get messy real fast. So there's also a payment history action where you can see all the recorded payments. You can export this into a CSV file, making it so much easier to sort of capture the data. And then when reporting back to your committee members or your treasurer, you've got a clean, sort of accurate, real-time data and easily accessible page of the payments coming through to your app. The scan history would be good for the events that we've just touched on. It would show sort of your members that have scanned in. So also another way to sort of cross-check your information. And then also we have a payouts report in which you can see the transaction associated to your Stripe account. So overall, this is like a central sort of finance system, which tracks and reports all sort of transactions across your fundraising, your tickets, your registrations and store, giving the sort of clubs that instant visibility and reducing the admin work that you would rather get from doing it manually. Cool. I'll go back here. The next one we'll touch on is Teams. And this is where the heart of TeamApp is, I like to call it. So most of your coaches, your players and your parents will live in this section of the app. It's how you sort of manage your games, your trainings, results, and basically who's turning up on the day. So firstly, if I go on the left here, we'll create our own team. So I've got my 3 teams here, all similarly linked. Go on the top right corner and I'll create my team. So it will prompt you to put in information regarding your team name. You can put your logo, your notes, your players' names and positions. And before we begin, to get the most out of this feature, it's important that you link the team to a specific access group. So now that I've sort of got the team roster here, it showcases sort of members from an access group by given roles, and this will generate and link a team chat, which is one of the benefits. So And we'll touch on this a bit later, but for now, we'll enable it and we'll assign it to our under 12 boys. Now, next up comes your sort of schedule as well. And this is all about sort of setting up your fixtures and your training sessions right inside the app. You have the ability to link an external URL. So when members click on it, it will take them directly to the link that you provided. You also have the ability to update a PDF file, which can also highlight users an image of the season fixtures right then and there. But to more specifically, if you want to have information relating to your team that might change week on week, I suggest to turn on the manual entry. So here you can create your sort of own team's personalized sort of training and game day schedule with the additional features of having like a map, RSVP, duty rosters, and many more. This is best done by sort of creating a team and then turning this on and then entering the schedule, which can be accessed by the Teams feature or the scheduling features. So yeah, you have sort of automatic notifications, no confusions about times, no lost spreadsheets. I'll touch on this a bit later as well, demonstrating how you can maximize the scheduling. Cool. Now you have your sort of standards as well. This is what everyone wants to know, where you are on the ladder, how your team's performing. You have the ability to link a URL, which can go to an external website again, or you can do a PDF file. So I'll demonstrate that on one of my teams later on. Now, as I touched on before, the visibility is key to see which members you want to view the aligned content to this team. So here you'd also link the access group to a specific team. So I go access group, and I'll go to the under 12 boys, which I'll be focusing on today. So that's as easy as that to create a team in your team app. So as we sort of see one here as well, I got my under 12 boys, my 12 girls at my men's open class. A few of the other features that we can turn on is the manage roles. So from this screen, if we click manage roles, you can see I have different titles. I have my coach, my team manager, my equipment. I'll create another one for this instance. We'll create a scorer. Literally easy as that. So going back to our teams, we'll be focusing on the under 12 boys. As you can already see, we got my team roster link, the one that I turned on, my team chat linked, my schedule, my standings, and my live score. If I go and look at my team, what it is, so I got my 12 boys. Like I said before, assign access group to roster. I've linked my under 12 boys access group. I've turned on manual entry, and I have a PDF for my standings. And at the bottom again, we've got the under 12 boys group linked. So yeah, this screen is what the members will see. It's very personable again, personalizable again. You can make it how big you want. Even if you just want those schedules and results, that's also up to you. So we can go to the team roster here, and this is my team. This is the under 12 boys one. You can see that I have different people linked since they're under 12s. These are the child profiles, but also linked to their guardian or parent. So at Team App, we're pretty strong on the child safeguarding policies that the content that the child will see, also the parent will see. So yeah, if I go in the top right corner as well, back to where I can assign some roles, and I have got the lucky job of scorer. So simple as that, tap the button, and then on this sort of page, when the members log in, you'll see that I'm the scorer, just the third name down. So as I touched on before, the chat was also linked. Here you can have your 10 members in there, which are the ones I just showed you. You have the ability to send messages across. You can react. You can create polls as well. It's all up to the user's capability and how you sort of want to use it. Now, back to scheduling. So you can see here that I've got my manual schedule put in. You can see I've got my Thursday night training and also on Tuesday night as well. And I have a game day set up in that sort of aspect. You can link this by clicking the top 3 dots in the corner and click subscribe. And by doing this, say for members' point of view, it can link to an external sort of calendar as well. So you're always in the loop. You don't have to go through Team App, but it's probably best to go through here. Now to create our own, we'll click the plus button. We've got our corresponding team. We can do the title. We'll go beach session for this instance. You can do when it starts, when it ends, the duration, who's it visible to. So once again, we'll pick the under-12 boys. When the content's released, if you want a later sort of training session, you can do it at a different time and date, and also how they're going to be delivered. So the reminders and whether it is a push notification and email. Now, it's the same sort of procedure as the event creation. You have the same features that you can turn on. For this instance, we're going to be turning on duty roster. And this is essential for members to have sort of assigned roles. So you might need a scorekeeper for a day. And what will happen is we'll create one here actually. So we'll go scorekeeper. We'll display that as one, but you might need multiple people to do as well. So you can choose that as well. So now if I go back to my schedule, you can see I've got a game day versus Tigers in the middle. So if I press on that, here it is. You've got the 10 members in my team. I've responded, yes, I can play. You've got the features that I turned on as well. But just like I created, we'll go to the duty roster one. Now, the duty roster, I can assign this to myself if I can do it. But what you can also do is click the 3 buttons in the top right corner, and you might request your volunteers to do it. So all unassigned members will get a notification, or you can also send a duty reminder to have members fill these positions if you have multiple. It's extremely helpful and it saves us sort of double and like even triple texting messages begging someone to do a job. But on Team App, you can visibly see those that are putting their hand up. So yeah, that's regarding that. And we can go through the standings as well. So as I mentioned before, I have a PDF document linked to my standings, and just a simple click of the button, what we'll do is it will show me it directly. So we've also got our live scores connected. And our live score lets you update results as the game happens. It's perfect for sort of parents at home or supporters following along. It builds engagement and it sort of reduces the what's the score text, and it lets your club sort of feel more connected. Many clubs skip this and just post the score hours later, which obviously defeats the real-time purpose. So for this instance, we've got the Royales. I'll click the button in the top right corner. We'll go Royales, and we'll go for a basketball club. So I'm on 33, and I'll go the Turtles, which are 44. Yeah, so there you go. I've got my sort of score instantly notified, and it'll just go out to all members as well. So now that we've sort of covered the results, let's take a step back before the game even begins. It's actually key to sort of know who's actually playing. So that's where availability comes in. So if I go back here and go to down the bottom, you see availabilities. It actually lets parents or players mark if they can make it or not. So you can see here that Lucky Henry up the top has got an overseas trip for 3 months. If I click into his name, he's not available from this date for the reason and the duration as well. Now, you probably already noticed that within my team, you can see here in the schedule, and if I go to the game day, you can see one of the members has said, no, they're not actually going to play. Now, the thing in with Team App is that it actually integrates with the availability. So events and scheduling prompting Henry to say that he's unavailable for whilst he remains away. So to sort of close out the teams feature, this is your engine room. So your scheduling, your standings, your live scores, availabilities, all in the one place. It keeps communication tight, it reduces the admin, and then makes game day run that much smoother. So the next one we'll go to is our surveys. So let's go up here. We've looked at sort of how to manage things with scheduling results and availabilities, but what about sort of gathering feedback? We're making decisions across your club. So with surveys, it's like a built-in feedback tool. Instead of sending out Google Forms, emailing links, or chasing responses in group chats, you can create and run surveys directly inside your app. So that means you can actually involve members in decisions, whether it's something small like I've got here, like what nitro training run on, or something like a big sort of facility upgrade. So if I click into this, you can see I've got here the time of it, the participants who I've set it to, and there's my simple answer. I've created it as multiple choice, so you can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's completely up to you. Then I would be able to view these answers and to also export them to have data saved for me as the admin. Now, when creating it, it's the same sort of process. So your title, description, what time you want the survey to open and close, whether it is a recurring option, the ability to sort of pick which access groups you want to view the content as well. And like I said before, you can make a question, you can have it multiple choice, you can have it yes, no. It's up to the user how they sort of want to use this. So the surveys are sort of like a built-in tool that lets clubs sort of quickly distribute and collect member feedback. And as I touched on, you have multiple choice questions, yes, no, and others. It makes sort of it easier for members to engage and make informed decisions. Cool. So now we've looked at surveys, which are all about sort of gathering feedback. What about the other side, where actually sharing important documents? That's where this feature comes in. So yeah, it lets you store and share files directly within inside your app. So click on my bottom left here. Instead of emailing out, which sort of get lost, it's all stored. And it gives your members sort of one sort of central, always up-to-date location. So here I've got a web one, and I've also got a folder. Now to create a doc, you click it in the top right corner. A simple title, you can choose the attachment type of a web or PDF. If I was to choose PDF and also upload multiple ones, then it would obviously in turn go into a folder, as I've also shown you. So yeah, you can choose who it's visible to, whether or not you want it to the public, specific access people in access groups, and also the ability to choose how your notifications want to be published. So overall, documents is a feature that a lot of clubs underuse. They still send attachments by email or sort of Facebook groups. It means the parents can't sort of find them exactly where they need it, or they use sort of old versions. So yeah, if I go to the next one. So yeah, that's would be a wrap up from me. Being the first webinar, I've just explained sort of different features and how you can sort of maximize it. Which ones I went through? I went through fundraising, ticketing, payment summary, team surveys, and documents. So each one can sort of save you time, improve engagement, and make sort of day-to-day operations easier. Now, Dan's in the chat, who I mentioned at the start. He's been answering questions. So if you'd like to put more in there, be welcome to. And yeah, I'd also love to hear how your sort of club manages these areas. So whether or not these are sort of pain points that Team app can help you immediately, or if you have feedback that you want to provide me, we're always looking to get better to make the user that much easier for you guys. So yeah, you can see on the screen here, I have my demo, which would be a booking a one-on-one session with me. We can go through your team and just directly I can provide advice on how to improve it, or if you have questions for me as well regarding how you should get the best out of the app.